Hi guys, I hope you guys are doing well. I wanted to talk about one of the evil entities taking down our country. This guy is going full speed ahead. He's talked about a lot in the news. Well, not so much because we have people like Harris Faulkner. Is that her name? Harris Faulkner, the African American woman on Fox. We have people protecting the criminality in this world, that very criminality that is tearing down, wanting to tear down America, take away our religion, take away our free speech, take away our guns, take away our ability to have jobs, take away the riches, everything that enriched this country to its success, and just hand it over to China, hand it over to these communists. And they're going to take away our human and civil rights. They're going to be able to put us in jail whenever they want. They're going to be able to just take us away without any legal cause. It's going to get really bad because they're already doing that with their Antifa and getting away with it. And they're being protected. But it's going to get worse if Biden's fraud undermines the election voting results and he becomes president. So we need to really fight tooth and nail. And the reason I say that Harris Faulkner is the problem, because we have people in the media, we have social media, big techs, we have Hollywood standing behind censoring the very entities that are tearing down our country, tearing down our voting system, destroying the integrity of our voting system, undermining the American public, because they want to take over. And in fact, this article is about George Soros, supposedly arrested for election interference and maybe in federal custody. This is according to a conservative article that was written today. It says George Soros has currently been put in federal custody in Philadelphia, according to what appears to be a recently unsealed indictment filed in the West District of Pennsylvania. Soros committed a slew of serious crimes prior to the U.S. election. So he's just not involved like crazy in the voting fraud and slandering our president through the television and the media and the social media. This guy has a hand. He's like an octopus with like a million tentacles. He has his little tentacles in every which way possible, feasible, to destroy our country and destroy our president and to take away our rights, take away our Constitution. So anyways, this document originally appeared on a variety of lesser known dark net websites. I don't go on the dark web. I'm too scared. I don't want to see what's on there. On the dark net websites, this was found first before being shared widely on the open net and eventually Twitter and Facebook. So the indictment focuses only on criminal activity Soros allegedly participated in the prior to the election, such as wire fraud, identity theft, and damage to computers. Now, none of these claims have been proven in court, and Soros is believed innocent until proven guilty. The only problem is when he's around his own people, whether it's the police, governors, mayors, judges, people who side with his communistic satanic agenda, those are the people that don't do nothing to people like Soros. Nothing gets done. They don't get charged or anything. So we got to make sure this guy gets charged. And another problem we have is people in social media and people on the news, like Harris Faulkner, trying to shut up Newt Gingrich, when Newt Gingrich was trying to talk about the criminality of George Soros. She shut him down. We can't allow that. Harris Faulkner, get it together. You may have sold out, but that doesn't give you the right to stomp on everyone's mouth, So we cannot talk about the truth about what's going on with the communism and destruction of our very country just because you sold out. That's not how it works. So we need to keep talking about this, Republicans. We need to get it out to the American people that this is what George Soros has had his hand in. He's had help. He has help from Scientology, Antifa. Well, he's helped create Antifa, fund Antifa, Hollywood, CCP. That's just big tech, the fake news. They're a part of that same circle of criminality. Circle of criminality is what I call it. So social media users have speculated George Soros' alleged arrest was due to the investigation currently being conducted by Kean, K-E-E-A-N, Bext of Rebel News. Beck's investigative report. His reports had spread to Trump's former lawyer, Sidney Powell, and she cited Rebel News as evidence in a recent press conference. And so I'm going to play that for you. I don't think you can hear that. So, she mentions Dominion voting, sharing office, the voting, the Dominion company for the voting machines is sharing office space with George Soros' company. And she had alluded to the fact that it's a leftist hive. And I'm going to compare it to what Q is, what Anonymous used to be before Anonymous got hijacked by the deep state. Well, they have their own Q. They're always asking us about Q. Well, it's none of their goddamn business. Well, they already have their own Q, but it's evil. Trying to take down our country. It's trying to take down other countries because they want to take over the world. And I've said this before. So she's going to start talking more about that operation. They have started closing down. The executives and people in those offices in Canada have been shutting down and taking off. They're running away like roaches, scattering. So they're going to get into more of what's going on in those beehives. Now, Powell has also alluded to the fact that possible military intelligence is also involved in the recent election and cited the use of Dominion voting software in Venezuela. It just comes down to CCP, Scientology. They want to infiltrate and take over. Soros, the satanics, left radicals. They want to turn this country into Venezuela. They want to keep everyone poor and yada, yada, yada. Go about their evil hobbies. Killing, murdering, eating children. So anyways, there's an indictment, copies of the alleged indictment. It's been circulating online since late last night when the arrest allegedly occurred. Now, I don't know if this is filed October 15th, an indictment, but they say he was arrested and in federal custody. I don't know if he was just arrested recently or if this was back in October. But some fact checkers have speculated that the document isn't real. Well, those fact checkers like Snopes, they're always shutting down facts. Like if they don't want something to be talked about, like Antifa and stuff, they'll say that's fake. This is a fact check, and Antifa is not real. So those fact checkers are saying this indictment isn't real document, while many others have actually attested to its validity. The known publication of this document is a news story. It was on Your News Wire. It's a reliable conservative publication. So supposedly George Soros is was arrested in Philadelphia, and an FBI source stated that the indictment will likely be updated to reflect election interference charges in relation to Dominion voting once the full scale of George Soros' operation is known. Soros is currently being interrogated by the FBI. I hope he interrogates his fucking ass off. He's so evil. I don't know if he's going to talk because this guy is a sociopath. He's pathological. He's psychotic. He believes his own insanity. He has a fantasy of taking over the world and creating it and dominating it the way him and his little close friends want to do, like CCP, Scientology. They're all in bed together. It's also notable that a judge put a gag order on Soros' arrest. Now, however, those particular laws don't apply to Canadian media, like the conservative Beaver, who put this online. Rebel News, a renowned alternative media outlet, previously reported on the connection between George Soros, the Tides Foundation, and Dominion voting. So, George Soros, again, guys, I referred to him as an octopus. I mentioned on Twitter that he shares a member. There's a member on the board. There's a board he's sharing like a board with, there's a member on his board for another company, and this guy is like ownership or has part ownership in these voting machines. They're all in bed together. So the Canadian connection to all this is the FBI, an FBI source indicated that the service is aware of Soros' operations in Canada. And Canadian police have executed a search warrant on Soros' home and offices in Toronto. Some have speculated Soros may have rigged Canada's recent election for Trudeau's favor, or however you say his name. He's a pedophile too. They're all pedophiles and traffickers. So let's just get this straight. All the corruption going on in the world and even our country, you got these devil representatives or senators or whatever the case may be that are on their side. A lot of them were frauded into power. Now we have left radical states that years and years, election after election, have just crumbled under tyranny of corruption. Philadelphia, Detroit, it's happening in Oregon, it's New York City, it's happening in California, and other states. So there's multiple allegations of voter fraud, specifically involving George Soros and companies he controls. They're being pushed by Republicans all over the United States, as well as conservative commentators and politicians in Canada. These allegations. People are talking about these companies Soros has his hands in, and Fox News, Harris Faulkner, is telling Newt Gingrich he can't talk about it. We need to be talking about this all day, all night, 24/7. We got to start talking about George Soros, what he's about. If we don't talk about what's happening, the core of why and what's happening, there's not going to be any justice. There's not going to be any activity set in motion that's going to be consistent and unwavering to destroy it. It's the same thing with Scientology. They took over the IRS. They're taking over cities. They're doing their criminality. They're going after people, attacking people. We can't talk about what they're doing in the media. We can't, everything is science. Shh. And if they can't own you, if they can't make you submit to what they want you to do, if they can't own you, then they're going to destroy you. So if they can't dominate you, they're going to destroy you. That's what I've been going through for 15 years, and that's what our president's been going through right before he became president, when he won the election, before he won. So there was a statement that was asked of Soros' lawyer, and he didn't provide an immediate response to allegations, but the investigation is continuing. We need to start arresting these people, guys. They're fucking everything up. And everybody involved needs to be called out, and they can't be trusted. They can't be trusted. Those are the people that'll say, oh yeah, you know, I want to be on the Republican side, and they're still being paid by their cult or the communists to be spies and moles and to infiltrate us, our Republican Party. We can't allow them. We can't trust any of them. Harris Faulkner can't be trusted. Dina at Fox can't be trusted. So there's allegations of voter fraud, specifically involving George Soros and the companies he controls. And so I just mentioned that, but most of the claims refer to suspicious glitches due to rigged voting software, specifically glitches that may have led to Biden's victory in some states. And despite desperate attempts to label OAN's reporting as false, Chanel Rion has provided convincing evidence of voter fraud and stands by her claims. Well, I was the one who kept insisting it was going to happen and how it was going to happen. And it happened just like that. So I'm glad there's reliable journalists that are continuing to investigate Soros and linking him to the Dominion voting fraud. So guys, all these corrupt entities, how they're going after people, and how big tech wants to silence us, take our free speech away, censor us, and how the news is trying to censor and shut up people from talking about the facts, like Harris Faulkner did to Newt Gingrich. We can't allow. We can't allow. We need to stand up and carry on with exposing this criminality. And it's just like Satanism. We can't talk about Satanism in courts and hear all this trafficking. Children are being murdered, tortured for adrenochrome, raped by these pedophiles, these actors, these singers, these politicians, Newsom, Cuomo, Soros, they're all So guys, let's keep talking about George Soros, Harris Faulkner can eat a big pile. She can eat a big pile. We're going to be talking about Soros, bitch. I'm going to be talking about the criminality because, again, I've been a victim for 15 years. And guys, listen, don't sell out. Us Republicans got to stick together. We've got to be talking about this. And stand up. Stand tall. And let's fight this voter fraud, election fraud. They're trying to do it worldwide. They've been doing it across our country for years. We need to call it out for what it is and shut it down. Alright guys, I'll see you on the next video. It's already starting to get dark. It's 4:05 here. So I'll see you on the next video. Be good to each other. I'll see you soon. Bye guys.